Hello. Hello. Hello, hello. 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 Oh, hello. Alright, let's go. Ooh. My. Oh my goodness. My phone does not sound good. You have a turn again. Mr. Sholmes. Oh. Mr. Sholmes, tell us please. What two facts were apparent when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first, let us be precise. Facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand. But what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The two facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1. The cabin was locked from within, rendering the escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2. The victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Sholmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim before. I don't know how to say it. That is true. the Russian word for wardrobe. Do you really think that Cosmo-san could have left a dying message in Russian? I think it's great. Oh. In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their heads. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? Initially, I considered Gorderov may be the name of the killer, a certain Robert guarded. For the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong to look inside the wardrobe there at least, where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so, I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was moved. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes, thank you. Photograph of the crime scene has been entered into court record. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that. Ah, yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Certainly, if it interests. How many times? I'm not Russian, and I don't speak Russian. Oh, oops. Can we talk about your deduction before? The thing you concluded about me and... Ah, the now famously accurate troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details I was more hoping you to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin 16 part? Ah, yes, the more sordid details. It was fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma a Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you. Villain Bolshevik. No, how could it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Ah, please. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stalwart. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower? Yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds of the man has perpetrated thus far and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik is recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you. I've absorbed all this of interest to me over its pages, but I see no rubbish hidden nearby. Article, what was that? And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back? Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, but you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose I wouldn't hurt to just glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian. No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says. The pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer some assistance. The article in front page of this newspaper is considered a fearsome. I need to read this. I need to read this. Oh my gosh, he is fearsome. Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was alright, wasn't he? Solution is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, he need only shave it off. And I'm not quite sure what the problem is, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, who is this? Oh, who's this? This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo? Well, no, I mean, it looks it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess. Do you think? She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know. Can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you noticed this article. Huh? Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. Pops up everywhere, this Mr. Shaw. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Nova Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? It would appear the young woman was in costume when she was found to be missing in her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money. Susato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is a property of the Nova Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with glory. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested the international assistance of all ports with sailings to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? Does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not even going to dignify it with a response, Mr. Downholder. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma? Ah, yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. You see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London Diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. Ah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the actor. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Susato-san? Aren't you going to throw the detective one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, now, Hana-san. What on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim, it would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray to be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, Bonsak, Mikado. Nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters of which I can read precisely none. So what was all that showing off about before you? If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Showman. I'm much obliged, my dear madam. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just two short sentences. The first reads, 12:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard of that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring To the lattice here on the wall which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary is the entry to the court record. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for a time being at least. Ah, do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to? Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate, hence the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No. That would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? I spoke last at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspects in this matter, no? There's no point in trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. You must be joking! You just said it only a moment ago. Hear me. You are clearly misguided. I have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know, not really. So what were you doing at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then, and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. You are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. No, hold a second. What are you standing there for? We must go investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can't. Hiya! After Kazuma spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up. You're just going to roll over and accept your fate? Oh, as if you gave me any choice in a rolling over. I think we should have some investigation to finish off here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. This situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this and bring the real culprit to justice.